Hi, welcome to Ready, Spotlight, Go Live. I'm Daya, assistant producer of Blissful Studios. For today, we have a special guest and her name is Cindy Leong. She is the founder and a trainer of the Enneagram Academy. Having an education background in psychology, communications and business, she tapped on the Enneagram Personality Profiling roadmap, working with C-level managers, business owners and teams to strengthen their understanding of each other and ultimately improve communication and increase productivity. Cindy has also written 3 books and is also the resident love expert on Class 95 and a regular guest consultant at several national radio stations and magazines, providing insights into organizational challenges, ways to handle millennials, bosses, colleagues, love, and relationships. So let's welcome Cindy.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Okay, so before we start, right, can you share a little bit with us what is the Enneagram Academy?
The Enneagram Academy was started because of the demand of our graduates who have attended our course and then after that realized what's next. So then we have to provide more in-depth learning. So besides the level 1 program that we have, now we have level 2 program where we also accredit coaches, trainers, relationship coaches. So we provide also the accreditation portion and coaching skills training to help individuals who like to delve deeper into the Enneagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, so for today's live, Cindy will be sharing with us about how different a personality can be working from home. And she will also be sharing with us some tips on how leaders can actually adapt to different personalities online.
Yeah.
Okay, so but before we start, what is actually personality? So according to Google, right, it refers to individual differences in terms of characteristics, patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving, which actually makes us unique, each one of us, okay? And also, obviously, another meaning of personalities is also influencers online, but we are not going to talk about that. And as I mentioned earlier, it's something that makes us unique. And if we were to put it in a work context, we all know that each one of us have a different way of doing work. It's just who we are, right? And I feel that it's normal for a office setting, but once work from home situation starts, the way we do work is different.
Yeah.
And what I mean by different is that in terms of productivity and effectiveness, one can be productive at in an office, but then not productive at home. And one can be the opposite.
Yes.
And we have also one that's productive at both settings,
Yeah.
but very difficult to contact them. Like, wow, why is so difficult to contact? Like, I need some document from him or her by today. And also, I feel that one of the common sharings from employees online is that they feel that their bosses expect them to have more time now that they're working at home. Do you think that this work from home situation affects everyone differently individually due to their personalities?
Definitely. I mean, usually we realize that the introverts, okay, and of course certain types on the Enneagram, they actually thrive in this, work from home setting. Oh, no need to travel, no need to drain my energy in the traffic, right? No need to squeeze in a bus with MRT with people. They could have better used that time to conserve energy, to rest, and to do my work. So there are personalities like that, they're actually more productive working from home. And then we have another group that is the other way around, where they need to have people around them to work. Like they like to bounce off ideas, they feed off each other's energy. So they need that people element in order to work well or to produce some creative piece, for example, right? So working from home alone, facing the four walls is just not going to give them any inspiration. So people like that, they usually will go sometimes to the beach, or they just go to a nice different cafe, thematic cafe, just a different environment in order to work. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, sidetrack a bit. Which one is your type? Like, are you the kind who needs people around you, or?
Actually, not really. Because for my personality, right, I'm a very task-driven person. So whether in office or not in office, right, I'll get the task done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll get the task done. In fact, maybe certain things, so it depends on what kind of task. Certain tasks will be more effective in the office because if I need to go out and just tell the person, hey, this one needs to be done by today and how's the progress, all that will be more efficient, right? Because the person is just beside me. But now, if we are working from home, I have to, can we have an appointment? Can we hop on a call at 2 o'clock? So there's those additional logistics arrangement, right? Before I could actually give the feedback on maybe a creative piece. Yeah. So, but there are other things that I find is more efficient working from home. For example, editing an article or calling up my client without any distraction from others, right? So I think certain things work well for me at home, certain things work well for me in the office.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like we've been mentioning about being effective, right?
Yeah.
And we all know that having an effective team, it's like working with a big group of friends like who can work together with you. And like when a team is effective, I feel that that's when everyone is focused and more clear on the aims of a company. And it also leads to loyalty to the company. And but then in order to have a really effective team, there's a lot of things that needs to be factored by leaders, right? And one of the things is also being aware that they shouldn't be treating everyone the same,
Yeah.
like, because they should be aware that everyone is different in the team.
Yes.
So do you think that it is necessary for leaders to be aware or at least understand that there are different personalities existing in the team?
Definitely, definitely. In fact, most of the training that we have done with companies, the WSQ training, they actually send the entire team, including the leaders themselves, to do this whole training because so that they can understand each other and to know that there's such a thing called different strokes for different folks. So if I am a very task-oriented leader and I'm dealing with a very task-oriented staff or team member, that will work because same type, right? Yeah, same mode. But if the other person is more people-oriented, more feelings, more into the nitty-gritty, then it's very difficult, right? I'm task-oriented and you're feelings-oriented. Then it's very difficult. So then the leader has to be the one that is versatile enough to switch to the other mode in order to connect better with this other team player. So I would say being a leader, you need to be very versatile. You need to be able to stretch yourself. Yeah, there's one preferred mode, yes. Like I also have my preferred mode, but I also need to learn the other modes so that I can connect better with other team members.
Okay, true. So it's like about switching the way you act around people from time to time, is that correct?
Yeah, so what I always tell people is this, right? The intention can be the same, but the way you deliver the message can be different.
Yes, correct.
So if it's a no, you can say no in many ways. I can say, I would love to, but I can't. Or this is really not viable. I have to gently decline. Or I can just say, no lah, get out. I really don't want. Can go out. So there are many ways of saying no, but it's just how you phrase it. And obviously there will be this one mode that is your preferred mode, your natural mode. And there'll be other modes that are what we call trained behavior. And this is what the leaders need to be. Yeah, more versatile.
Trained behavior.
Yeah.
All right. So by training behavior, what do you mean by that? Like, do you think that they should read up more things about personalities and then like improve themselves in terms of?
Yeah, it's more like understanding what the other parties need, right? And put it in a lingo, in a way that the other person can digest. Yeah, otherwise the other person will feel like, we are not clicking, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Like for example, there will be certain personality types that needs a lot of details. They need to know where we're heading, give me some information before I move on. But some other people is like, okay, let's go. Let's try this something new, right? This new project, let's go. Without much detail. There'll be some, hey, so exciting. Okay, let's go. Without needing those details. So there are two groups of people. So if I'm the kind that move fast, I would tend to pick on the group that no need the details, right? Come, let's go. But the thing is, I also have another group of people who needs details, and these are the people who watch my back. When things fail, these are the people who troubleshoot for me, who is able to do risk assessment for me, and they are also an asset. But if I'm a leader who fail to see that this group of people who needs details are a form of asset, and I think that, why don't you trust me? I say, just go lah. But for this group of personalities, they're like, cannot. I need some details. They just cannot because they have this anxiety, right? Like, if you don't tell me, I just cannot bring myself to move forward. So as a leader, then I have to slow down. And I have to go to this group of people and say, okay, look, these are whatever details that I have to what I know best. Maybe 2 days later, I'll have more details for you as well. But meanwhile, can you take one step with me first? So that kind of contextual communication has to happen before you can get this group of people to move.
Okay.
But to me, it's, one more step, right? But it's important because you want the whole team to go together. Yeah, not just half the team to go. Yeah, so the communication styles to different group is different.
Okay, and it actually brings the whole team together in
Yeah.
the journey. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about personalities, and we all know that, I'm not so sure if it's the only way, but one of the easiest way to get to know about your personalities is through personalities tests.
Yes.
And you are an Enneagram relationship coach, right? Is it okay if you share with us a little bit about what Enneagram is?
Enneagram is a personality profiling framework that's able to tell you not just what you are like, but why you are like that. So there's a why element. Of course, there are other profiling tools that will tell you a lot about your personality traits, right? Are you introvert? Are you extrovert? Are you domineering? Are you conscientious? So the different traits. But the thing is, traits do change. Yeah, traits do change. So you want to go deeper into the why, which is what we call the ego structure. What makes up your core belief system? What makes up your worldview, how you perceive the world? It's just like the example that I gave just now. Let's try something new. We're hopping on a new project. Let's go. So the worldview of the first group of people is like, oh, the world is an exciting place. Yeah, new things are good. New things means opportunity. So they are naturally more excited about it. But you have the second group of people, their worldview could be, no, 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 no. The world is a dangerous place. Things could really go wrong. So I better get to know the details first so I can safeguard myself and the team. So the worldview is just very different. And in fact, opposite. So then how can you bring people with opposite worldviews together? So the thing is, we are all so different and we are motivated by different core motivations. So Enneagram actually talk about that portion. So knowing that different people have different motivation, we see the world differently. It's not that the person is trying to be difficult or the person is nasty, or it's not. It's just that the person has a different need. And therefore, different worldview, different personality traits that they behave, and then therefore our way of communicating with them has to change. Yeah, so Enneagram actually talks about that core motivation. It talks about how you can grow to be a better individual, a better version of yourself, and how to work better with the different types.
Okay, so from what I know, Enneagram has like 9 types,
Yeah,
right?
9 types.
And some of which is like reformer, loyalist,
Yes.
achiever, and many more.
Yeah.
So you've been in this industry for how long?
8 years.
For 8 years, right? Okay, so during these 8 years, what are the common personality types that you have seen in business leaders?
Oh, in business leaders,
You've
Okay.
with a lot of atas people, right?
It's very hard to put it into that perspective because by numbers game, there are more type 9, the peacemaker type, than the rest.
Oh.
Yeah, which is 1/3 of the people, like 33%. Yeah, so if you see, they are majority of the business leaders also, it's not apples to apples lah, right? But I would say every type can make good leaders. Of course, you know that the more domineering types tend to be natural leaders. But again, doesn't mean they are effective leaders. So I would say that naturally, you will see a lot of type 3s. You see a lot of even type 5s. Type 5 is like Mark Zuckerberg. And then you have type 7 as well. They can make quite good leaders because they are the enthusiasts. They like to rah-rah people together to start projects. But doesn't mean they're good at finishing it and following through. So that's also an area for growth as well. And then you have a type 8. Type 8 usually like Lee Kuan Yew lah. So they speak up, they are loud, they do what they think is right. So, and of course, a lot of 9s are business leaders as well because they are very good with people. They are natural people person. So they have a lot of contacts, they have a lot of network, people naturally want to be their friends, support them. So different leaders actually have different strengths, I would say, and at different point in their business, they will have to make some changes to themselves. Yeah, to what we call move up your mastery level to be a better version of your type.
Okay, if we were to summarize what you just said, right? Basically, one type, there's many levels.
Yes.
And at one point of time, we are at this level, and then after reflecting on ourselves, it's like we have to level up within that same type.
Yes, exactly. So if you learn about the Enneagram, you did some personal development work, or you did some spiritual work on yourself, so you would know what are your struggles, what are your fixations, what are your natural blind spots, and you are more aware now, you can work on that, and then you can level up. Exactly.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. All right, so just FYI, right? Okay, when I first joined Blissful Studios, our founder, Huda, she actually asked me to take the Enneagram Personality Test. And I found out that I'm a type 1 reformer, which is said to be the rational and idealistic type. And I feel that through this personality test, right, it's actually one of the best ways where my bosses can get to know me on like the first few days. And it's a good start for them, and also it actually like helped me reflect on myself lah. And as a staff, right, I feel like I appreciate when employers actually make an effort to get to know their team members. Don't have to be physically lah, but just having us to take the personality test is really enough. And like I know it's very difficult, especially those with the bigger teams, and it's very difficult to get to know each one of them. But if they show that, okay, I understand that each one of you is different in this team, so I know how I can act around you, then it's already enough.
Or even to best fit you into the different roles.
Yes, correct. So, which leads me to the next question for you lah. Do you think what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen if leaders decided to pay less attention to the difference in personalities in the team?
Well, I think the same quote or the same reason we always hear people say is that people don't leave their job, but they leave their bosses.
Okay.
Right. So I think over time there will be some people that feel like, oh, I'm not connected to the leader. I'm not connected to the team. I don't feel appreciated. I'm not being recognized. And people will take the chance to leave, like if you're talking about loyalty, right? So I would say building a relationship, a personal relationship with your team members is important. However, I also do know that certain Enneagram type, they don't need that to function. Yeah, so some types they need, some types they don't need. So it's about having the right dose for different ones so that you can maximize your resources to connect with your team.
Okay, so in overall, it's actually important lah that they should really
get to know
don't
them
have,
as an
I mean,
individual.
don't have to like really take personality tests, but just be aware of the differences in
differences.
the team members.
I think when companies come to me, they get maybe their new hires to do their profiling test. They will usually ask me, this one can hire or not? And I will always tell them, it's not about can hire or not, right? You have to sit down with the person and see if the person is open and willing to improve, right? And the eagerness, willingness to work with you. So when you look at the profile, it's not that, wow, this one very jialat, like cannot. It's not about that. But if the person is very willing to grow and change, is very open, then this might be a pretty good candidate to mold, right? And also different types have synergy working together. Whether you are similar or opposite, there is certain synergy. But also be aware that there's a next step, which is conflict. Conflict is bound to happen. No matter who you hire, you just subscribe yourself to a potential kind of conflict. Right? So it's just being aware, like knowing what type you are and all that, just being aware that, oh, there's this tendency for this person to be doing this or saying this or operating in this way. So you don't take offense. I don't take like, oh, this person is now trying to be personal or what. No, I just know that, yeah, it's this person's type that is causing this person to do this. And now let's sit down and talk things through. So there will always be synergy, there will always be conflict, and it's always about sitting down and talking things through. Then the relationship can get to the next phase, which is called the flourishing phase, where we are very, very comfortable working with each other. You don't need to tell me things, I don't need to tell you things. We already talked about it long ago. So now we are in a very effective and efficient working relationship.
So we've been talking about how it's important for leaders to like be aware of these different personalities in their team. So, and I think that it can be quite tiring for the leaders, right? For making effort. How do you think the leaders can adapt to it? Like how can they not be still be themselves while trying to be their best for the team? Like how can they
Okay,
adapt? Yeah.
so when you talk about tired, right, I would say the cost of dealing with an inefficient team member, dealing with potential conflict that's going to arise, is going to be actually even more tiring. Yeah, because without that first layer of understanding, a lot of things would be said and done, and hurt has been done. And after that, you try to mend back that relationship, right? It can be pretty hard. And that is also why lately I've been talking to a few business owners. They're talking about how they actually end off a business dealing or to call off a business because they couldn't click with their co-founders because of the clash in personality. And by the time they realize it, too much damage has been done. And none of them actually feel like coming back to mend back this relationship. So I would say it is actually more tiring to go through this, to mend this kind of relationship than, to just have a prior knowledge of each other. And it doesn't take much effort, to be honest.
Okay. So it's the middle part that's difficult lah.
That might be difficult if you don't have the prior knowledge of each other's personality preferences.
So, since you mentioned about your clients, right? Actually, Cindy was a Blissful Studios client years ago.
Yes.
And I feel that, okay, back then I was still in school.
Oh, really? Wow.
But I feel that that project with you, right, actually affected the whole company. And up till now, like I told you, that I was asked to do a personality test, and it was only last year. So we've been taking that personality test for like around 5 to 6 years now, and it has really affected the whole team lah, because it actually doesn't only like let my bosses get to know me, but also it actually allows my whole team to reflect on ourselves.
That's nice.
Yeah, and like we actually discover new things about ourselves, and actually this the one behind camera, us, right?
Yeah.
Through this test, he actually found out that there's a common trait in partners that he don't know, but after this personality test, right, then he reflect on himself like, yeah lah, true, is correct.
With his partner.
Yeah, with his
Nice.
and also his past partners lah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it actually affected the way we
team
act, the team works lah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so just curious, how about you? Like, how's your experience working with the Blissful team back then?
Oh, it was very nice because they know my type, and I know their type, right? So it's easy. They know how I prefer to be treated, and I know how they prefer to be treated. So that's why working with the team is actually a joy. It's not difficult. Yeah, and sometimes when we work with new people, we want others to understand how we want to be treated. But yet, it's very hard to put the demands across. Because I'm like that, so don't waste my time, talk faster, Like, then I will appear to be like very, very demanding. But if you understand the Enneagram, I just have to tell you, I'm this type. You will naturally know how to treat me already. Yeah, so that's good. Unspoken needs of the clients, right? Yeah.
Okay, so I can just, because when I look at the photos that Huda and Amiru have taken for you, it looks like you had fun.
Oh yeah, I mean working with them is a lot of fun, and even doing the couple coaching for them and helping them see each other's strengths and weaknesses. These are the potential conflicts. These are potential ways that you all can reach out to each other and make the relationship better. So I thought it was fun lah. I mean, it's not just work already. It's like work and personal, and the two of them are like my personal friend lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, Huda and Amiru didn't tell us about the
Oh.
couple coaching.
No lah, it's not like a prolonged session, but it's just that when they were doing the report analysis, I put them together lah, so we can talk about it It's important. Yeah.
Alright, okay. So that was a really nice time talking to you. Right, thank you for spending your time here and your insights. It's really very valuable and insightful.
Thank you.
So before we end, how can our viewers get in touch with you?
Oh, okay. You can find us on my website. So we have a few websites lah. The first one is the Enneagram Academy. Enneagram is spelled as E-N-N-E-A. Ennea means 9 in Greek, and gram, G-R-A-M, which is a drawing, a diagram, right? So it's a profiling of 9 types. So www.theenneagramacademy.com. Or if you want to read up more about personal relationship, then it's under relationshipstudio.com. Yeah, so we are also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay, and that is how you contact Cindy Leong. Okay, once again, thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time here. We really appreciate your time here.
Thanks for having me.
And that is all for today's live. Do follow us on Instagram at Blissful Studios SG, our Facebook page at Blissful Studios, and also our YouTube channel. Do subscribe to us at Blissful Studios. And with that, bring your life to life. Stay blissful.